and joist hangers.
Okay.
And that's, one of the things I was talking to her about last time. Is how far y'all want to go with it to how it is of fixing it.
Right.
It can be fixed the way it is.
Right.
It just depends on how you want to deal with it. This one I was telling her, if you hold this up and put another band on it, cut them 3 inches back, or another 1.5 inches back, but you could put another band there. This one you could do on the outside and bolt it into the post.
So you'd be fine with that? Maybe just camber lock or something?
Yeah, as long as you've got one bearing,
Yep.
you can put your double to catch your centers and, nail it and bolt it back into the post. You could double this side.
Okay. Then we'll just cut out, shorten that in, push it in. You're not bearing on anything here.
Yes, correct.
And then you'd want to see a double all the way around.
Well, double on where your floor joist comes
Okay.
into. That's your load point.
Yeah.
Correct. This outside's not bearing, but your 2 end ones, if they're double,
You're fine.
that's holding your floor system.
Okay.
As far as this deck goes, like I said, if you could hold this one up, cut 1.5 inches off,
Yeah.
set another in, this one
Be fine.
would be workable. Back here, need several hangers, and let's see. You'd basically be doing the same thing, coming back and doubling your outside band.
All the way around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to come
And
down.
you're fine with how those are sitting on top of that?
On top?
Yeah.
Yeah. For that beam in the center?
Yeah, I mean, for all of it, whether or not, cut out, the only thing that's holding them up is these. And then if I put that second band on there,
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I've got
bearing. You only
half
got to have
inch.
1.5 inch bearing on load point.
so we're cutting all these out, shortening it, put it on low.
And like I said, you could do like you're going to do the front. And what I was telling her is hiding your post. If you did a 2x12, it'd come down, but you just have to notch that corner.
And you're fine with bolting it in like that?
And you can bolt it to that post.
Okay.
Do your zigzag of your nails
Yeah.
between the two, and that gives you your double band.
Okay.
And you've got your bearing point for the load. So like I said, that depends a lot on y'all
Right.
but it can be repaired. We can get it to a point that it passes code.
Right.
But I did come back and made them change the post in the center before they were like this. And I made them straighten those out and at least get them all setting on a post. And they were supposed to put these hangers on too. And I told them about this, but that didn't get done. But
Yeah.
all of these.
And I seen that one over there is a little too short, and then we're
Yeah,
not
there's
Right.
one ain't touching nothing.
Yeah, it's
I
not
haven't,
attached.
put a level on any of this, but you've got, right here, we're sitting above this beam, this post here. Maybe a 1/2 inch or so. I don't know how they've connected those unless they're on the far side.
Floor, it's set to the floor joist, not the beam. That's what stopped it, that hanger. Well, like I say, these are the posts I got them to move.
Alright.
They had them offset side to side,
Mm-hmm.
and we come back and centered them up on the beam.
So that's it for everything that does not pass code from what they did, correct? I just gotta have like a documentation of what they didn't do that was in their contract where it doesn't pass.
Yeah.
Okay. So just in the steps, or what about the base of the steps? Was that all okay? I know at one point you said there was it wasn't.
Untreated lumber out there that's not.
So would that not pass code?
No.
Okay.
You can't have it contacts the drain.
So you have to have treated lumber to contact the ground. So that's this piece right here.
Probably have stairs with hung up
Stairs.
there.
Probably need to be taken down and revamped. Even to slide them over what we was looking at, of course, then I just noticed. I think
Those aren't even in the ground.
that ain't even in the ground. I thought it was. That board may have been on.
Wow,
last
so
time I
those
looked.
posts aren't even in the ground?
No, that one's right stuff above it.
Yeah,
And then there, the way that they're, hung back here, you've got
yeah.
untreated 2x6 fastening them in. It's like they shinned it out and then a 2x4 out. Or you've got some timber locks in there. The top. One
Yeah,
for
that
each
one's-
stringer.
That one's not treated, ain't it?
Oh, you okay?
I believe this is the only one that's not treated. That's treated. That's treated. So yeah, that. I didn't realize those posts weren't in the ground last time I was here.
Normally for anything like that, we would have a pad set up underneath. So, I mean, you got a landing with your stringer that comes down, and those posts would be fine if they were concreted in. But anytime that we do like a landing or you have anything on the ground, we'd have concrete
yeah.
underneath it and then a piece of treated under it.
The main posts, I believe, are in the ground and concrete in.
Just
Yeah, are
like the
they?
back is.
It's in the ones behind them.
It's not in the ground at all. It's not, it's like sitting on top. Yeah, it's sitting on top. There's no,
Oh yeah, and they're
that
not
post
That's
is,
what I say. The main posts are in.
this post, is that a main post?
No,
too?
they're not.
That one's not in. I don't know about that one. I guess that one's in.
No,
Maybe.
none of them were in the ground. There's two right there at the front. That's just cut. And that's what's holding them in. These timber oaks and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is concreted in the ground. It's not. I don't think it is. No, if you do like this, you can see it moving.
I see it.
Yeah,
I see underneath it now.
yeah. It's
From
not,
this angle, I can see under the edge of it.
yeah, it's not posted in at all. Okay.
Yeah, that whole thing needs to come off.
And what about up here where the railings, like where there's no railings, right? That's not going to pass code either, correct? Well, there's no railings on either side of that dome up here.
No.
Yeah, so these need to be covered definitely on both sides.
Right. This was supposed to be done right here.
Now, what's your opinion on the? There's nothing, this sheet and this subfloor, the only thing holding us on these sides.
It ain't. I was telling her last time I was here, there needs to be blocking
Yeah.
in some manner for these anchor points.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm almost
Basically-
thinking just to build it out. What if we came,
Mm-hmm.
and re-hung out to another center point?
so what
here?
it looks like to me, the main frame wasn't built the diameter it needed to
No.
be built
No,
for
no.
this
Yeah.
because we're hanging over.
I don't know if
Just
it's
do it out
necessarily
2 more
that
feet
their
or something,
fault. That
what are you
is
gonna
because
do?
yeah, I don't. When we originally did it, we had a 26-foot deck, a 26-foot thing, and so the original permit was to fit that. And then after that got sent back, we got a 27-foot one. They were supposed to fix it to accommodate the 27-foot one now, right? Yeah, and they said it wasn't going to be any extra wood because they already had enough wood, and it was just going to be like, because I asked them if it was going to be more, to go a foot out bigger. But anyway, so
Yeah, that'd be about right. 6 inches.
yeah.
6 here, 6 there.
So they kept it at 26 feet, I guess. I'm not quite sure what happened because it should not cut like this. You're supposed to have 4 inches, like that's probably perfect right there. That's how much is supposed to be left over so the thing you can glue the tail to the wood and then it can hang down. But we've learned through research that you can just put it on a square deck. So maybe we'll just do a square deck, and that way you don't have to worry about cutting a circle. We'll just square it out.
With you, maybe putting, people. I've seen them where people walk on, like a are able to walk around the dome, like have, you know, a deck
Yeah.
walking around.
Right.
But, you know, like he just said, you know, these main focus points, this is what this whole thing is anchored in with. But the only thing that's holding is this 3/4 inch plywood here.
Right.
You know, there ain't nothing.
Yeah, it needs to be screwed to the framing.
You know, and once
Right.
you know, the winds will be able to blow through this, but once you get that cover on it and everything else, the wind picks up, and you know, any of
Right.
these rot out. You know, with it sitting over here for so long, there definitely needs to be something underneath it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
And
Well-
even at that, if you're extending it past the cover point, this ought to be treated plywood.
Yep.
What was supposed to
Because-
be marine grade, I don't know if that makes a difference.
It
but
does.
yeah.
The treated
So it's
plywood,
not marine grade.
It's not.
No,
Okay.
no, that's what I was telling you that first
Right.
time we was up here.
It's not.
This isn't anything that you know.
If you were stopping it here,
Right.
this is fine. If you're having it
Got
covered,
you. Right. It was supposed to be marine grade.
But-
That's what what
past
was
that
written
point of getting
into it.
weather here and drawing back in,
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna work.
Well, if
no
we
way to
did,
seal
if
it.
we did do it square, we would just do it like a regular deck. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just like put the boards like this one. We wouldn't even do the plywood. We would just do the boards and square it out. That's up to you, Zach. Whatever you feel like. I'm gonna let you take the lead on that. Whatever you feel like would be.
Well, I mean,
Better.
for insulation purposes, you
You
know.
would want the interior to be plywood.
Yeah, you'd want the subfloor out. So I mean, we can get pressure treated, you know, and you know maybe stop it. So whenever we're running our joist system, stop it a couple feet, and then just outside be the pressure
Got you.
treated. But you'd want that inside. So I mean, you know, we could completely just build a deck around this place and use the deck boards on the outside and use the subfloor on the inside of it. But you wouldn't want
Would you still have to pull the subfloor out if you did that? If you just made the, do you know what I mean? Could you just like,
I mean, I'm gonna have to take it off. There's definitely
Right.
some changes that I'm gonna have to do to the structure, especially
Right.
around these edges. I can't. Something's got to be underneath this to carry
Right.
this load of these
I
and
gotcha.
anchored in. I'm gonna be taking off that.
Well,
Definitely.
with it set right now, perfect time to get your measurements to where you need
Where,
to be.
yep, and set a post out
That way you know.
which way it's going.
What-
And see, and that's another thing too. I guess you would have the instructions of putting up this dome, but those anchors could be in different spots. You never know how we're
Yeah.
resetting it out.
yeah,
But I mean, yeah, like I told you that first time, my ultimate goal would be to, disassemble this thing. I would love if I had a spot, I would, just pick it up and
move it.
Move
Well,
it.
he's going to be out here doing the trees before you come.
right.
It's at the end of October, so maybe there will be a spot because he's taking this down. I think he might take all those right there down, and you might be able just to move it over that way, I don't know. So,
I mean, my excavator might get it out of there and roll it, but I mean, safer, I might just end up taking it down,
right,
and reconstructing it. You definitely wouldn't want the deck boards in there for insulation purposes, or you plan on building it up inside.
right. That's what, from what I can see with the subflooring, what they've done is you have to build a subflooring in there anyway. So I could see how that would be kind of like double duty if you did the deck boards and then put subflooring on top of the deck boards and then built your frame up. He said the frame was about 2 inches high or something like that. And I have pictures of it. But they did do plywood with theirs, and they did do a circle deck, so they didn't have to
mean,
worry about any wood on the outside.
If you want to build a whole new floor up, I mean, we can, just stick build and frame that inside without needing to do multiple layers of the subfloor. So, we would just do our layers on the subfloor that we're anchoring on the outside, and then just build up and frame the inside,
Right,
and then put your subfloor on that way that it's covered.
right. That's
You're
what.
not spending more money on multiple layers of subfloor if you're not needing. Now, I mean, if you're
Right.
not gonna insulate it, then sure, do the multiple layers.
We were going to insulate it. From what I can tell, I'm not sure. I have to send you some videos. And you're going to have to do some looking into it. But it looks like, I'm not quite sure what they used underneath it. But they did put, 2x4s through it or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But they lined it up and then they took that square foam insulation. That was like maybe 2 inches or an inch thick. And then they put that inside the frames.
Right.
So, and then they put the plywood on top of that. And then they put their laminate on top of that. So that's how they did it. But there is going to be a loft in this thing. So that, there wasn't a loft in the one that I had got the videos for. So
in that thought, you need to know where you're going to put your loft.
right,
So he has points under here, load points to build off of, to
Right.
carry that second load.
right. Which I think I mean, I just kind of did a rough one myself and just kind of gave it to him, but it was kind of to scale. It wasn't perfect to scale, but it was pretty similar. I think I had this coming out 5 feet from when you walked in the door. I think it was like 5 feet to where the loft started, to where the first beam was.
Right, and
Yeah.
see what he's saying is you need a continuous, all the way from the concrete up for that loft.
So you need
a
beams
continuous
underneath it.
load all the way down and up. That
I
on
got
all
you.
the
Or you
points.
need to make another beam to come across to catch those points. That's carrying that
Okay.
load. Granted, you're not carrying a roof load.
Right,
It's not that critical,
right,
but you do need something to be
That's
able to
gonna-
mount this to and not both plywood in between.
right.
Where
Something that
you're-
would be supported in. Okay. Okay.
You just need to make a drawing of what you're going to do to give him dimensions to know where it's going to sit.
I have, and he can tweak whatever he needs to do to it. But I've already kind of drawn out the idea that I wanted and how I kind of wanted
I
it.
mean, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the way that I'm gonna write this up is we're gonna, pretty much disconfigure this,
Yeah.
take this subfloor out, reframe it up, and then I'm gonna have to, add a support system to where we're actually setting the bathroom and this loft and everything. On what side. This deck over here, I'm not too concerned with. We do need to take off the stairs. The deck is not this deck is actually not as bad. What is that span?
It's 12 by 16.
16,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine for a 2 by 10. That's 16 foot. I guess that's 10 by 16. So you're
It's
fine
not
with the
16 that way.
Well, I was just saying, like underneath here, see, we've got multiple carrying load, and then you don't have anything set fastening into.
Yeah, I mean,
This
we talked about it. Need another post in the center for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've jumped,
Right. Yeah.
but yes, I did say that to her before. It needed another post in the center.
Okay.
So one more post in the center. So
At
if you,
yes,
if
one
you-
more post in the center, you should be okay.
what if
Double-banded.
what if it reattached to the deck? Would you need a post in the center then? What if we reattached it back, like he had it before? Because we found out that it doesn't
the-
have to be
to the
separated.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Would you need a post then?
You still want something carrying the load because at that point it would just be a timber locker. And now, I mean, maybe
Okay.
we could get something that's on a different elevation.
yeah.
I mean, that would be maybe some lag bolts. I'd be happy with if this deck was supported carefully.
Okay. Well, we'll just have to, the way they've got it over there, they've got two. It's just the way the door is going to have to be centered, but we don't have to have the door in the center. We can put the door off to the right or,
And another thing, you get into it, and some of these are not. This is one that's not hitting right.
Nope, not at all.
If you held that up and took that post out, you could re-pour this or pour back in if you can get that to bust out of there, and use those cup anchors.
Yep. Set it in.
Set you a sonotube there, get it above grade.
Yep.
Set you that
The anchor right
you can
on
set
top
it.
of
You can
it.
set it where you gotta have it on
Yeah.
there. Anchor your cup. Set your post back to line up to be a better bearing point.
And see, that's what I told her that last time. A lot of these times we like to use pillars. We like to lift it up off the ground. That way we can basically set them out. I mean, you do have it's probably going to be the same thing that, when I was talking to you the last time. I mean, there's a lot that we're going to have to take off.
Right.
I think your biggest thing that we're not going to touch really is this deck. We are doing a few things, scooting that back, making sure that we have bearing points. Those stairs are going to have to be redone for sure.
and a railing put onto them. And that's just one side that the railing has to be put on.
Handrail,
There needs to be a
You just
handrail.
have to add a graspable handrail.
Okay.
And I was telling her in doing that, you know, you may need to add another post to make it stable enough.
Yeah.
Have you another mountain point in the center.
Because, yeah, there's pretty tall steps. I don't think he planned on the steps being that tall, because at first the steps are going to come off of this side. And to avoid have to do a landing in between, because after so many steps, he said that you had to put a landing and then do more steps to meet code. Anyway, so that's why he didn't do it on that side, because it required less steps on this side.
Well, he just bought the prefab stringers, and he could have continued out, but he probably didn't know how to cut the stringer from a certain size, so those are the prefab, so he just laid them out and put them on a landing to where they met.
Well, maybe the thing to do would be to just put the steps back where they were going to be originally. What do you think about that?
I mean, wherever you would want the steps, that's fine.
I mean, you're going to take them all apart anyway, right?
I mean, I'm taking them down anyway.
Right.
Well, I'll give you one other suggestion. You said these trees are coming out.
Yeah.
You could take them stringers right here.
Yeah, and pull them right
And
down.
pull them
over
right here.
Cut them off.
Right. I hear you. Yeah. Okay. And have the platform. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Well, you wouldn't even need a platform over here. You're going to be at grade, hitting right here. You're going to be pretty well in grade. You just may need to fill in below it a little bit to where you're not rolling off that bank.
Right. Okay.
But you could draw them up here. Actually, time you come up here, you can come into grade right in here, I'm guessing.
I'd prefer
Just a
it.
quick look.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be so far out in the driveway. I didn't really like that, but it was okay. But I would prefer it to be over in this area.
But I guess what I'm saying is you could reuse what's there.
Yeah.
Right. I got you. Okay.
You know, even if they're cut off, you can still reuse it back
Yeah,
here.
I got you. Okay.
And you can bring it up level with your deck, have a better mounting than your first step.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to Zach
We
too.
always make it level out. I always grab.
It kind of looks like they're all leaning back right now anyway.
Something's not right. I'm even wondering if this is level right here. I guess you'll be able to tell when you get up there, but I think it could be an optical illusion. But it almost seems like the post in the middle is like higher than the other post, and it's kind of making it. I don't know.
We've also had this sitting out here for a while. So
Right.
I mean, this stuff's
Plywood
warped
warped a
and-
little. From right here, the center looks lower.
Yeah.
Right.
Looking across it.
I haven't put a level up to it to see if it's level, but I wouldn't doubt it if it wasn't level.
Like I said, there's some things.
Does there need to
we
be
must
railing
make
down here?
And bring it to code. But there's also some things you all have to decide
Right.
how far you want to go with it
Right.
to fix.
Right.
This one does need to be fixed. The other side's bearing enough that we looked at a minute ago.
Yeah.
This
You know,
one-
and with that, I mean, we'll come out here, and I'll give you a price for all of it. But
Right.
I'm gonna do the same thing, is just fixing it to getting it to where it is now.
Right.
And you know, that's where we'll get it. You know.
Right.
We'll say dome anchored in.
Yeah.
You know, reestablished, all this rebuilt, and then past framing code.
Right. And then we'll go to the next
Then we'll go
phase.
to the next stage.
Okay.
Because that way that you can get this fixed, and I can do some more research on how to properly insulate one of these
Right.
domes and everything. But there is, in my opinion, I don't, there's some things that need to be changed. I also don't want, after me and you sign this contract,
Right.
and even if he passes us on code, if something happens, it's still liable on me,
Right.
to fix.
Yeah, and this one definitely needs to be replaced. It's just hanging in midair.
Yeah, I saw that one. I don't know what happened there.
I don't either, because I want to say there was wood here to do it with.
Yeah.
You know?
No, what they've had
But
it
I don't
there
know.
and they had to move it to cut it back. Something to do with moving this. Because it's been cut off. It's been attached before and then cut off.
Right.
Because the screw holes are still here where they had it attached. But it's something to do with when they had to move this out.
Yeah, and just didn't get
That
another
they didn't
one.
get it put back.
Yeah.
But it has been attached at one point.
I don't think they were planning on putting it back. I'm surprised. I think that's why they just kind of stepped away from it, because they knew a lot of stuff wasn't going to pass and they just gave up on it or something. I'm not sure, but.
Well, this one's not in there either. It's the same one. It's just been sister got there together, but that's not touching anything.
Yeah.
Whatever they've done there.
It slid back off of the hangers here that it was in, and they slid it back, and then sister going in on it. No, they didn't.
That was
sister
probably
one,
their
they sister to piece.
Yeah, that was probably their plan to do with that other side, but not long enough. So I mean, our
Okay.
main points and what you'll see is, getting us something to anchor out here, making sure that we're bearing everywhere. You got doubles on this side, on this, redoing the stairs, and then, with the loft inside, making sure that we've, got something to carry our load down here.
I
And
mean,
then,
even if it's only blocking in between the doors,
Right.
yeah,
here.
that's fine.
to set on it just keeps that plywood from carrying that added weight.
We thought about doing a T-wall too, so maybe we'll explore that. Would you need to have that for a T-wall? Like where you have like, well, it's where you have like a cross kind of in the middle, and then you have 4 sections cut out. So you would have like a section for your bedroom, a section for, it would just, you wouldn't do a loft at all. Do you see what I mean? You would just have 4 walls, I guess.
You're just having division.
Or 8 walls or whatever. I don't know,
If you're
yeah.
not putting a floor on it, that doesn't matter then.
Okay.
The
If you're
weight's
using
fine.
another floor space above that,
That's when you have to have the load bearing. So we might not even do a loft. We'll just see how it goes. I don't know if you can do an estimate
the
for
load
that.
bearing isn't something that's extravagant.
Right.
So basically it just needs right now this joist is carrying this load by itself.
Right.
But once we connect them, that it's transferring some of the load to
Right.
each
just be
joist.
just putting blocks in between these.
That's what would be supporting the loft.
Right.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You just need
Okay.
to know where it's going.
Where it's gonna, the main
You just
load's
need
gonna
to
be
know where it's
set.
gonna
Oh,
sit.
so it won't be that big of a deal.
No.
Gotcha.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay.
He just needs to know where it's going to go while
Right.
they're doing this, that they can put it in.
I gotcha. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for this.
Now,
I think I
walk
got
around,
everything.
This is the only post that's like this.
Okay.
The rest of them are bearing enough
To go with.
to pass.
And then you're fine with just you're putting a 2x12 on the outside, just bolting
Yeah.
them in.
Yeah, you just, you'll run your bolts
Yep. Straight through.
to bolt back to that post.
Yep.
Like I said, do your zigzag
Okay.
nailing to connect them.
Okay.
Because, one bearing sitting in the notch is
You're
fine.
fine.
The second one, all it does is strengthen the center. Makes a beam more so than one.
Right.
And especially you're sitting on one and bolting in, it's all attached.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm fine with if you can bust that out, pour it flat, put your sonotube on it,
Yep.
raise it
roll
up. If you do a sonotube bow, drill that, pin it, set your tube on
Okay.
to connect the tube. If
Well,
you raise it up,
I'll probably end up pulling it out and then just actually re-pouring it.
okay.
Because I know she's got some grade work that she wants done after these trees are out of here, so I'll probably end up bringing in some equipment. So I'll pull it out and then actually, put it down on the ground and
Okay.
pour it up. Do you want pre-inspection on that one before pour?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're gonna change foundation, let's
Okay.
look at it. Like I said, if you was gonna pour that in full
Yep.
right there and pad it
And then just block it up.
and put the cup,
Yep.
fine. But if you're taking that out,
Yeah.
yeah, we need
Okay.
to see that.
I'd feel better just
Because I've already seen the bottoms of these holes.
Right.
I know
Right.
what's there, but
Right.
And then I'm opposite. I haven't seen the bottom of those holes. So.
well, but like I said, even if you did the tube on that,
Yep.
having that connection point, no more area than we have coming up.
Right.
Having it rebar pinned
Okay.
in to tie the two together.
Moving that one over.
Okay. I think I got everything I need on video. So if you have any questions, I got it on video. If you forget anything.
No, I mean I've got all my notes from the last time
Okay.
and those measurements of the actual dome itself, the last permit that was pulled.